Hello everybody, Dagmar Bryant, Mindset and Transformational Coach. Coming to you today to talk about a particular quote that I wanted to reference in this morning's mindset session. And Napoleon Hill is famously quoted as saying, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." That's a pretty powerful quote. Do you believe it? Some of you might automatically say, yeah, sure, not a problem at all. I do, I get that, yep, it can happen. Others of you might say, no. And I would suggest that those of you that are in the no camp might have a problem with the concept of either conceiving it or being able to believe it. I'd like to give you a really relevant example around this. I was probably about 10, 11 years old, and I remember speaking to my father at the time, who, by the way, was in telecommunications, and I said to him, wouldn't it be great if everybody could have a phone that they could just take with them and it could be in the car or they're walking along, didn't need a cord? And my father said, oh no, that is just never ever going to happen. Well, hey, presto, take forward a few years, and what do we have? We have the mobile phone, or for you, my American friends, the cell phone. And that was a huge leap forward in technology. Skip forward to today, and you might be thinking about travel. Now, I know this is a really relevant example because it's hypothetical. With coronavirus and being in lockdown, I know a lot of travel organizations are in trouble, but let's go with this anyway. And in specific, I want to talk about galactic travel. I know Richard Branson has for a while been talking about doing travel into space, commercial flights into space. So you might say, well, I can never ever see myself being able to do that. I can't see myself ever flying around the earth, being in a commercial shuttle flying around the earth because it's too expensive or because it's never going to happen, the technology isn't there, whatever the reason might be. Skip forward a little bit further to things that you don't know. You don't know that there mightn't be right now a very powerful group of people who have a lot of money who decide that space travel is the next best thing, and that it would be really viable for there to be commercial flights going up into space. And all of a sudden, instead of it costing, for example, $250,000 for a seat on a commercial shuttle flight around the world, that all of a sudden it's now only $10,000. Can you see how all of a sudden, because of changes in technology, changes in circumstances, what once wasn't possible is possible? And I would say to you, when we go back to that quote about what we can conceive and believe, maybe the reason we don't believe that something can happen is because we can't conceive it. And so in that way, we don't believe it, that it can be a possibility, that it can be a reality. The mind is so powerful in being able to propel us forward. And as we get older, we know that our body, a little bit sag and our mind gets a little bit forgetful, but we want to keep our mind and our body active because that's so important to our overall well-being. Today's challenge is to think about things in a slightly different way. Do something that has a little bit of adventure, that puts your mind to thinking about something that may be a fantastic idea, but that you think at the moment may not be possible. Why can't you be the next entrepreneur who thinks of a brilliant idea that's going to make you millions of dollars because you've put a patent or a trademark on it? I remember a story on CSI in New York. Yeah, I know, I watch all the CSI and Blue Bloods and all that. But this particular story was the guy who was in the morgue, who used to work on people and doing the diagnosis of what made them pass away. And he ended up developing this special pillow for the back of the neck. Put a put an IP, intellectual property, on it, and according to the story in the show, a Japanese firm paid him $4 million for that particular idea. So you could be the next person who has a brilliant idea. I know if you're anything like me, you've probably had some great ideas and then someone's invented it and you've gone, oh, if only I would have had that first, or if only I would have put that into place. Don't be the next person who says, if only. Conceive it, believe it, and make it happen. Today, use your mind to think outside the box of things that might be just a little bit different, but that might help you just expand where your mind is taking you. Have a fabulous, fabulous day, people, and thanks for listening. If you love this video, hit like, hit share, and please comment. Talk to you again tomorrow.